My name is Jane Page Conway, and I'm a photographer, and I do encaustic wax on top of my photography. I love encaustic because it's a sculptural medium where you can make like a little relief, make the photograph underneath it kind of pop out. This is an encaustic wax, and encaustic wax is a combination of white beeswax mixed with Damar crystal. So I have a crock pot and I make my wax, and I use many tools. I use heat, a very hot heat gun. Encaustic is a matter of like putting it on the surface. I usually glue an image to a board, and then I let that dry, and then once that's dry, I coat it with 3 layers of wax, and then I use colored wax and paint that colored wax on. I am a photographer. A long time ago I did hand-colored black and white photos, so this is just sort of an extension of the black and white photo hand-colored thing. I use many different surfaces. I use wood, sometimes I use vinyl, sometimes I use mylar or glass. So I like to experiment. I'm one of these people that experiments like crazy. So, and once I, get hooked on something, I do it a lot. The ArtMain 2020 annual guide, which comes out once a year, and I was chosen for one of the artists in the magazine. This is my actual studio space. I do all my encaustics in here. This is a hot box, and what I do with this is I'll take a big thing of wax. This will heat up to like 180 degrees, so it gets pretty hot in here. And then I'll smooth wax on top of there, and then you see the wax going through it? And it just melts everything. But as soon as you pick it up off of this, it dries very quickly. But I can lay it down again and I can go, okay, I'm going to use this black again. And then when I want to do something else, I just wipe this off with paper towel. But this is encaustic done in a hot box. You can see the wax dripping off there. And also I use these are alcohol inks. I use these either before or after I work a print or an image. It starts out like this, and then I put wax on it and alcohol inks, and it goes to that. Between each layer of wax, I shine it up so that you can see it and it becomes more transparent. And then I put alcohol ink on this little dog so that they really snap out. And then I did a little one. It's just a little tiny one that's not quite finished yet. One of the islands out in the bay. This is the end of Center's Point here. I love the variety of making a picture turn into a little relief. So I have a pot of clear wax here, and what I do is every time you do something to the surface, you have to heat the surface up. So I'm going to heat this surface up here. So I have this heat gun, and so I'm going to put the surface on. I'm going to put this over here. I'll let that dry a little bit. I'm going to coat this one. I usually put 3 layers of wax on there before I start actually painting it. But this paper that I'm using on this has a little bit more absorbency, so I might have to put more than 1 layer, 3 layers on it. Your temperature is really, really important, because if I think I'm getting too hot, that says it's 153, so that's pretty good. I usually don't want to go beyond 180, but you don't want to go like 200 or beyond, because sometimes it can go on fire. So So this one's pretty much cooled down, and it looks kind of blurry, but once it's very much cooled down, which I'm going to try to cool it down even more. If it's really cool, I could polish it better, but it's not that cool. It's like it has to harden. The trick to the encaustic is like heating it up and cooling it, heating it up and cooling it. Of course, it took me many years to learn that. These are little colored sticks. It's called a little hot wax. So I'm gonna melt it in this frying pan here, and that's where I get my color. Yeah, so this becomes the colored wax. So here we go. I'm gonna put some color in this, but you have to work pretty quick because once you have it there, it dries very fast. And then I'm gonna put a little brown. This is a sepia. I'll melt that. Sprinkle just a little. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for a second. This is the little cranberry bog one. And since it's cooled, I'm going to give it a polish. So this is a stylus tool. It's a heated tool, and I can go over this and put this red back in here. I can melt this wax I've already put on there too by using this little tool. These are dental tools that I got from my dentist. Every time I'd go to the dentist, I'd say, "Got any tools that you're gonna throw away?" And he'd come out with a pile of tools, and they worked so well. There's another thing that I use a lot too. This is R&F. They're called pigment sticks, and they're an oil paint. So those little lines that I scraped in there, it'll drop into those little lines. Touch it up a little bit. Okay, so I can make a little sky, the clouds. Move this a little. These tools, sometimes I can scrape off areas as well. I keep messing with this too, you know, I can mess with it as much as I want. This one, so this one, I'm gonna scrape out some. Okay, I'm gonna use that flat tool again, and I'm gonna smooth out the sky a little bit with the tool, make it look like clouds. And then I'm going to use the point of it and go I might like put a little color in those islands. This is the Nantucket cranberry bogs there. I love the variety of making a picture turn into a little relief.